About ready. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, the rain will not impact you. Certainly not as it will in Florida. I'm joined here today by Tommy Garbage,
Good morning,
Gerald Bell
everyone.
behind the glass. My son Will is here as well. He's supervising me. So I was thinking about the difficulty we have in accepting other people's views. And it reminded me of a parable where the donkey says to the tiger, "The grass is blue." And the tiger says, "No, grass is green." They argued for a while and decided to go to the king of the jungle, the lion, to decide the issue. The donkey said to the lion, "Your Majesty, isn't the grass blue? Isn't the grass blue?" And the lion said, "Yes, the grass is blue." So the donkey said, "Well, the tiger disagrees with me. He contradicts me, and he is annoying me. Punish him." The king replied, "The tiger shall be punished, and he'll be punished with 5 years of silence." The donkey bounced away in joy, and the tiger said, "Your Majesty, I will of course accept your punishment. But please tell me why, since the grass is green." The lion responded, "Of course the grass is green." And the tiger said, "Then why are you punishing me?" And the lion said, "This has nothing to do with whether the grass is green or blue. Your punishment is because it is not possible for someone of your intelligence and bravery to waste time arguing with a donkey. And on top of it, you're wasting my time coming to me to ask this question. The worst waste of time is arguing with a fool and a fanatic who does not care about truth or reality, but only the victory of his beliefs and his illusions. There are people who, no matter what the evidence is that's presented to them, are not able to understand and are blinded by their ego, hatred, and resentment, and they want to be right even when they are not. And this is what we see in politics every day in this nation. People who are so committed to their position and are so blinded by their ego and their hatred and resentment that they want to be right even when they're not. And so we have distortion of the facts to suit their particular viewpoint. Now, there are those who claim Trump is being railroaded, and others of similar views who claim the insurrection of January 6th did not occur. But the reality is that the grass is in fact green. So that's our topic today. Let me ask you what you think is the reason why people are so gullible and are willing to accept what goes on. I want to also talk a little bit about the position that I've heard mentioned. I'm doing this really more of it as an explanation and to have some discussion. If you want to call in, 914-636-0110. But let's examine the position of Trump's attorneys who were indicted in the Georgia case and were named as unindicted co-conspirators in the federal Washington, D.C. case. And just so we're clear, the Georgia case is a state case. And I want to emphasize that because that has no connection with the federal cases. If Trump is convicted in Georgia and the other people, Giuliani and others, they by law must go to prison for a minimum of 5 years. The judge has no discretion to give him a probationary sentence or any other kind of sentence. 5-year minimum, and it could be more. and it will be in a state prison in Georgia. The Florida case and the Washington, D.C. case, those are federal cases, and frankly, the judges don't have much discretion there as well. If they are convicted in those courts, he will have to go to prison. Now, where he'll go to prison, a different story. And whether he'll go to prison, I don't know. It's up to the 12 people who will be on the jury. Let me get back to the position of the Trump's attorneys. They claim, and this is headed by one of his attorneys, John Eastman, that in relation to the counting of the electoral votes for the 2020 presidential election, that they had the right to have the vice president, Pence, reject what the voters had done. And they took the position that there was unilateral authority, that means by himself, to resolve disputes about electoral votes or to take other unilateral actions with respect to the electoral count, or that he could delay the electoral count for a state legislature. Now, this is so wrong, and that's why they've been prosecuted. This is so wrong because the 12th Amendment and the Electoral Count Act of 1887 and the practices of Congress over the course of 250 years have conclusively established that the Eastman and the other lawyers' positions are so devoid of support that no reasonable attorney exercising diligence would adopt those views. So they had to know that the advice that they were purportedly giving to Trump was beyond the pale. And the historical record in this country conclusively demonstrates that the president of the Senate, in this case, the vice president, Pence, holds no power to take any substantive action with respect to the electoral count. The president of the Senate cannot reject electoral votes, he cannot resolve disputes about the electoral votes, or delay the counting of the electoral votes. And the decision of Trump's lawyers to advance those unfounded legal positions as part of an attempt to reverse the results of the presidential election violates fundamental precepts of American democracy. And by the way, no vice president in American history has ever rejected a single slate of electors, which they asked Pence to do in this particular case. So we're interested in your opinion on this topic. 914-636-0110. See you after the break.